fighting out of Big Six Boxing. And the pedigree of fighters, it's amazing. Now we take a look at our next bout coming up. This is in the middleweight division. Frank the Tank Hogan making his Bally's debut, Ray. And you just talk about one thing. Every fight that Frank Hogan's in, he's always going to have some kind of a height advantage, right? Reach advantage.
Yes.
He's also 21 years of age. He's fighting a fighter who's 40 years old. He's taller. He's got everything working for him tonight, doesn't he?
Experience. He has the more experience in great amateur record. Left-handed. Another lefty. He's called the Tank for a reason. Not because he's 6'2" like a tank.
Great.
Not because he's built like a tank. But because he hits like a tank.
No, he hits hard, and he kind of reminds me. I'm again going to go back into my reservoir of fight knowledge, which with very little fight knowledge I have. But he reminds me of a guy like a Kelly Pavlik, and I'll explain why. Right? Because he's not a big guy at a middleweight. A lot of middleweights are kind of beefed up. Yeah. They're muscular guys. Kelly Pavlik was never a muscular guy. You would look at him and you would think he's an unassuming guy, but he hit like a truck during his prime. So it's not about always just packing on the muscle and having the size. That works for some guys. Doesn't work for everybody. And you know as well as anybody, having been in the sport forever, that punching power isn't just generated from your muscle mass.
No.
It's generated from a lot of different things. And so Hogan has shown that pedigree and that ability to turn on the punch and just the proper technique, which I think is so important. And a guy like Francis Hogan, he got started at a young age. His father used to watch fights with him and his younger brother, Richie Hogan. Richie also was a budding amateur for a while. I think he's now in the Marines.
Yes.
So when you start early at that age, I think, and I'll ask you the same question, is it, I don't want to say easier, but just more conducive to developing good habits early on, right? Because it's tough when someone comes up and they're 17, 18, they have bad habits, I feel like it's hard to break them out of them when they're old.
You're exactly right. You know, he trains with his father, like you said. His father's seen the bad habits. His father gets the bad habits. I mean, the longer you stay in the gym, the more you work the bad habits. It can also be a bad thing. You don't got a great coach. He's continually doing the bad habits. You know, and the thing I like about him and his father's togetherness is that his father trained him as an amateur. And a lot of trainers, when I'm training as an amateur, I want to continue training as a pro. His father took a step back and said, let me let somebody else train me who's better than me. That tells me a lot about him and his father's relationship.
That's very interesting. Sometimes like the person has to just almost have a sense of humility, knowing that they're not the best. I may know the most about my son, but I may not be the best for him in this capacity, which I think is so critical. And you're right. He did take a step back. You know, Francis Hogan worked with different trainers. But you talk about that amateur pedigree. And how about this? How about this, too? How about the fortitude? He lost his first 40 fights in the amateur.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of guys would quit. They forget this. I'm going to go, he's in the Iron Workers Union. That's a great career. Nothing wrong with that. I may take a step back and just do that, but he did. We're going to set up Adam Plotkin, who's not going to introduce this next fight. Stay tuned for more.
This fighter makes his way to the ring. Rodrigo Lopes Rodriguez.
I've had a strong contingent of fighters coming in from Brazil tonight to take on some of the regional up-and-comers on the fight card here tonight, and this is no exception. Rodrigo Lopes Rodriguez, 40 years old, from Sao Paulo, Brazil, comes in with an 8-2 record, 7 knockouts, nice punch and power. Certainly, we've seen that on display. And now here's a guy who got a later start. We talked about Francis Hogan fighting in his really early teens in fighting in the amateur ranks and having over 200 amateur fights. Rodrigo Rodriguez did not make his pro debut until he was 30 years old. Won his first 8 fights in Brazil. Came to the United States, but a little bit of a tougher terrain for him in the States. But nonetheless,
his opponent making his way in the ring, Francis Hogan.
You hear that crowd, Ray? They're here for Francis Hogan. He's a member of the Iron Workers 7 Union in Massachusetts. Got all the union guys here. He's got all the fight fans. He's got family and friends chanting Frank the Tank. I mean, this kid's a rising star. He's got the look. You saw him at yesterday's weigh-in with a very interesting choice of clothing.
Oh, definitely. There's something you think I would wear, but here to tell you, no, I would not.
I would not have the stones to wear it, but I thank Frank Hogan for doing it, taking the pressure off everybody else, and, interjecting a little bit of a lighthearted moment into a very serious weigh-in.
I like that he's showing his... He's always walking around the tough face and mean guy.
Yes.
He showed that, hey, I got a playful part of me.
You're right, Ray. I remember my first introduction, as we see the backflip is coming out now. My first introduction to Francis Hogan was seeing him on Facebook, and every time he and his brother posed, there was not a smile in any photo. I'm like, these guys are tough dudes. And, you know, Roland Estrada had talked to me a bit about him and said, but watch out for these two. Both these guys can hit. I'm like, okay, we'll keep an eye out. But you're right. They always had that serious look. And, you know, boxing is a very serious sport. There's no question about it. But anytime you can have a little bit of fun in the process, why not do it? And you talk about the marketability of fighters and being able to build a brand. That's what Frank the Tank's trying to do. You know, at a big press conference, he just signed with CS. They literally passed the torch. Mickey Ward had a flaming torch, passed it to Francis Hogan, said, you are the next Irish star here in New England. Take this torch and run with it. It's a lot of pressure, but he may be up to the task.
I think he can hold that pressure. He could definitely.
Coming out to little Kenny Loggins. Appropriate with the new Top Gun movie in theaters, right? And here is Frank the Tank Hogan. He's an imposing figure. He's not a big guy. He's just tall. He's lean. He's long. Got that long reach. You know it's tough when you get in there with him.
Long and mean.
All right, we're going to send it back up to Adam Palacio for the introduction.
The following bout is scheduled for 6 rounds in the middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting on the blue corner, wearing the black trunks. He weighed in at 157 pounds. His pro record, 8 wins, 2 losses, with 7 big victories coming by way of knockout. Hailing from Sao Paulo, Brazil, ladies and gentlemen, Rodrigo Lopes Rodriguez. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white and red trunks. He weighed in at 160 pounds. His pro record, perfect. 10 wins, no losses, with all 10 victories coming by way of knockout. Hailing from Weymouth, Massachusetts, ladies and gentlemen, Frank the Tank Hogan! The man Johnny Palace.
Right, here you go. Okay? The dressing room. I want you to protect yourself at all times. I'll follow obey my commands at all times. First command is right now. Touch gloves. Come out and box.
Listen to this crowd for Frank the Tank Hogan, Ray. These people aren't from around. These are people coming from Weymouth, Massachusetts on a Friday night after getting out of work to come see their guy.
This is what you want. It's what every promoter wants. They want a guy that travels and his fans travel with him.
And you know you have something special when you can do that. No question about it. First round about to get underway here as we wait for the first bell. Frank the Tank Hogan appropriately in the Irish color trunks. Rodrigo Rodriguez, rather, in the black with the white trim. Significant height advantage. You can see it right away. That's tough, Ray, right? Like, Lopez has to do some work to get on the inside here.
Instead of Lopez wanting to catch that head, just work to the body. You know, chop the tree down. You know, you don't chop the tree down by the top. You chop it down by the middle. The thing I like about Frank is that right hook he has. You know, styles make fights. That left hook he already lands to the body. Lopez already shook his head and go, okay,
yeah,
that hurt.
He just landed one, as you mentioned it. He landed that left hook right to the body. And it's so tempting, right, for a taller fighter to want to go upstairs to the head, right, because it's right there. But it shows that discipline by Hogan to want to work the body, not deviate from the game plan just because the opponent's different height.
Styles make fight. I think it's a beautiful fight for Hogan because his style, in Lopez's style, he doesn't move that much. He can't move. And Hogan's just going to, you know, put that 1-3 on him, that right hook.
Hogan very active here in the first minute and a half of round one. You know, you see Rodriguez shaking his head like that doesn't faze me. But, of course, every little bit counts. It adds up. Another 2-punch combo there by Hogan. Nice to the body upstairs with the right.
The thing about Hogan, I love, he works that body so well. For a tall guy he is, and he fights a lot of short guys, he still demands working that body, which shows you the amateur pedigree and the great training his father's given him.
Despite that, Rodriguez not afraid to go on the inside. We saw a couple times they're not afraid to mix it up. It's certainly tough sledding. There's about 3 or 4 inches of a height disadvantage for Rodriguez. But listen, that's part of the sport. We've talked about that many times. Rodriguez charging forward. He's certainly been in this position before. He fought Connor Coyle, most recently in Massachusetts, so he's been in this position where he's had to fight taller guys. Hogan now letting his hands go, Ray. So far, so good early on. No feeling out here. Hogan's going for it.
No. He's punching up top to let Lopes bring his hands up. As soon as he brings his hands up, Logan drops it back down to the body. That left hook I said before, it's landing all day.
Very steady with that left to the body, then following with the right upstairs. He's done it several times in this first round. Just piling up points here for Francis Hogan in round number 1. 36 seconds ago. Once again, we're live from Bally's Twin River on Boxing TV. Michael Parenti joined by Sucre Ray Oliveira. Fight number 5, we've got 7. Co-main event on deck. Here's Lopes, a little flurry here. Nice work by Lopes.
I like that. I got nothing to lose. Let me just let them hands go.
Couple of shots landing there. No damage done, but they're landing. And I agree with you, Ray. It just keeps Hogan on his toes. You don't want anybody to get lulled into some false sense of complacency.
Yes. And Lopes here, he got 8 wins and 7 knockouts, so it tells you to also he can hit himself.
You want that resistance. That's what Hogan's been getting here in brief spurts. I think it's a very good round for Hogan. And what I like about the round as well is the fact that his opponent's coming at him some more and forcing him to adjust a little bit and just forcing him to just be active and be busy.
Yeah, I give that first round to Hogan, definitely. What I like that he was doing, as you can see right here in the replay, he's starting up top. And every time Lopes raises his hands up, he drops right back down to that body with that right hook or that left hook right there.
You saw a nice 5-punch combo there upstairs, but the reoccurring theme, as you mentioned, Ray, has been that left hook to the body followed by the right upstairs. Rodriguez is a sitting duck when he executes like that.
It's all Mickey Ward used to do. He used to throw his right hook all the time, and then sneakily come with his left hook. Boom! Hogan's doing it from the opposite. He's throwing his left hook, his left lead hook, his left back power punch because he's orthodox. Then he's coming with this right hand to the body.
And you and I first saw Francis Hogan as round 2 gets underway. We saw him in October of 2020. It was only his 3rd pro fight. Took on a very tough Sharon Spain. Got him out of there in the 4th round of a scheduled 6-round bout. He's been very, very busy since then, including a very big step-up fight against Isaiah Hart of New Jersey. That was in July of 21, and he won that fight by knockout in the 6th and final round.
Yep.
Hart entered that bout at 6-1-1. Clearly the toughest fight he's had to date. No question about it. You know the pedigree of Philly fighters, guys that come on the road, they're not expecting to lose. Hart came here to win, and Hogan knocked him out there in the final round. So, and that was a nice real test for Hogan there, too, to go to the 6 and have to face a little adversity, not necessarily knowing where the cards were and finishing the fight in style. So, Hogan's had a little bit of everything, Ray. He's had early knockouts, he's had longer fights. He's yet to go the distance. He's finished every fight, but he's at least had the round. Some guys who are 10-0 10 knockouts, they're all within 30 seconds.
He doesn't fight hyper. He doesn't come out looking for a knockout. He comes out, let me win round by round. If the knockout comes, it comes. And it has came 10 times for him. Oh. See, Lopes, there's nothing he does in this fight is going to help him.
No.
If he backs up, he's going to get pounded like this. If he comes in, he's going to get pounded. He's just got to try to last, I believe, because I definitely get this fight.
I like this here, Ray.
Yes.
We got a slugfest breaking out in round number 2 because Lopes is coming right at him. He's not afraid to take some shots, and I wasn't sure what to expect there. I saw the resume for Lopes. He had a couple of tough fights here in the States, but I like what I see so far. I like that he keeps coming at Hogan and making Hogan fight back and not just control the whole pace of the fight.
Hogan's an all-around fighter. That was a big right hand by Lopes. He landed correctly, which gave a little respect to Hogan, you know.
It just keeps you on your toes. He's landed a few in this round. He's not had a bad round by any stretch.
No.
Hogan's shots do more damage, I think. But Lopes has had his moments.
He's landing his moments. He's getting his moments there. But Hogan is punching in combinations and power combinations. He's doing what he wants to do, and that's the name of the game. Am I doing what I want to do? Are you still trying to adjust to me?
One thing I will say that Lopes does fairly well is box on angles somewhat. When he comes inside, he doesn't just stay in a straight line. He'll dart to the right, he'll dart over to the left, and just try to get out of the way. It doesn't always work, but he's not just a sitting target, except for right here for a second as Hogan lets his hands go again. Very exciting second round here. We still have 30 seconds to go.
The thing, like I said, I love Hogan. He has the amateur pedigree, and you can see it because he's not throwing one punch at a time. He's throwing them in combinations. And the amateur is only 3 rounds, 3 minutes, you don't know who you're fighting. So you got to come out there. You got to
Yeah.
throw in combinations. And he brought that into the pro career now. I got to throw in combinations.
Another 4 or 5 punch combo there by Hogan, going upstairs, going to the body, right to the waistline. Final 10 seconds here. And round 2 in the book, so listen, Hogan looks good, but he's getting a real fight here.
He's got a real fight, and he's happy he is. He's got somebody in front of him that's trying to throw and bang with him. But, you know, I'm throwing one hammer, you're throwing 6 hammers.
Take a look at some of the action from round number 2. And there's Lopes a bit right on those angles, right? He's coming in straight, but then he goes to the left and tries to work around to the right side of Hogan. But Hogan is very poised, like you said.
Yes.
200-plus amateur fights. He's not going to get rattled very easily. He just keeps coming forward and doing what he does. And the thing I like about Hogan, too, that you mentioned, he just stays calm. Well, Rodrigo Lopes may land a few shots, no big deal, comes back, and Hogan answers with 5 or 6 more. It's just a nice, steady pace. He's done a great job, and I just like the fact that he's getting some real work here. I think it's so beneficial. Like, we don't talk about that enough. It's great to get the victories. It's great to get the knockouts. But even with the knockouts, he's getting the work.
Exactly.
He has right now, and I got to look this up real quick, the number of rounds that Hogan has fought. Because you wouldn't expect it for a guy that's 10-0 with 10 knockouts. You would think he's only had about 11 rounds. But round number 3, just about getting underway here. And again, 27 rounds for Hogan in 10 fights, all of which have ended by knockouts. So he's getting the work and he's getting the glory in the end.
Definitely.
Best of both worlds.
He definitely is. He came out that round with a 6-punch combination. And I believe he landed all 6 combinations. One thing I like to see Hogan do, when he goes to the body, he's keeping his head in the middle, which is keeping him vulnerable for the wild punches that Lopes is throwing. I like to see Hogan move his head a little bit more, step to the left with the body shot, step to the right with the body shot, instead of staying in the middle.
And there goes Lopes again, though. 4 or 5 punch combo. Just staying busy, staying active. Hogan really can't take any second of any round off in this fight. Lopes will come at him. Once again, we're ringside here at Bally's Twin River Casino. Michael Parenti joined by Sucre Ray Oliveira. CES Boxing presenting Summer Splash live on Boxing TV. We've got Francis Hogan in the white trunks with the Irish trim. Rodrigo Lopes Rodriguez in the black. We've got a real war here.
Every time
Right?
Hogan lands a big left hand, it wakes Lopes up, and he just throws.
You'd love to see that. You know, I mean, Lopes is a guy who, at a certain point in your career, like you said, guys get into that opponent mentality. But he's coming to fight. He's not going to take these rounds off. Look at this combo here by Hogan. 3-4 shots upstairs. Now Hogan's got Lopes against the ropes and a little bit of trouble here, just sort of pulling away with that right jab, looking to land that big left hand.
Keeping his back on the rope, they're going to beat him like this. Isn't going to help him.
No.
It might cause the referee to jump in and stop the fight, because there's no standing 8 count here
That's
in the
right.
state of Rhode Island.
Another big right hand there by Hogan. Lopes really hasn't gotten off the ropes here. Hogan really 1 or 2 punches away from getting Rodriguez back on the ropes.
He's very patient, Hogan. He knows he got this fight. Let me get the round. I love that he's getting these rounds in.
It'll be interesting to see if he actually goes the distance for the first time. He came within 90 seconds or so of having that happen against Isaiah Hart before he finished that fight in July.
The thing I like about Hogan too is that we talk about patience, but when he does press conference, he never talks about his knockouts.
No.
He never gives you rounds when he goes, I'm coming for the W.
And he and I had a nice conversation before this fight, too, about the process and the science behind the knockout. He's not a guy that goes in there, like you said, looking for it. He sets it up. And he just looks to wear down the opponent and do what he does. And if it comes, it comes. And for him so far, 10 times it's happened.
That body work, that stood him right there, that left hand to the body. Lopes stood still. As soon as he landed, he came back with that right hook.
3 rounds, rather, in the books. My apologies. This fight so far, everything that we thought would be advertised. 2 guys with big winning records. 2 guys with big knockouts on their resumes. They're coming to punch. They're throwing flurries upon flurries. And again, you see some of the action here. And it really has been all action. There's been no holding, no real opportunities for Johnny Callis to have to break up the action. These guys are standing and they're getting their distance. They're just going to work right now.
Yes, I honestly think the next round could be a stoppage. The reason I say that, what I see in the corner, I like watching corners. I'm a trainer. Now, not a fighter. When a fighter says, no, don't give me water, to me that says I'm done.
Really?
I'm done.
So you're reading,
Lopes,
you're looking at the body language right
yes,
now.
Lopes didn't want water in that corner. His coach went to give him water. He said, no, no, no. That's the wrong thing to do. Take that water. Take that water. It's refreshing you. By not taking that water, tells me, I'm going to give my all this round.
That's emptying the tank in round 4. Very possible. Yeah. Oh, the first bell is rung here for round number 4. Once again, Francis Hogan taking on Rodrigo Lopes Rodriguez. Both guys picking up where they left off in round 3. Just swinging away here. It's been all action. It's been a great fight. So far, fight of the night without question. Nice double shot downstairs to the body. Left followed by the right hand.
He continuously going to that body, forgetting the head and going to the body. But as soon as he hits that body, he comes back up with that one shot to the head.
You may be onto something here, Ray, because Hogan's really letting it go. And Rodriguez not throwing as many counter shots as he was in the early rounds. A little bit low there on that one. Johnny Callis telling him to keep that upstairs. Just a byproduct of putting in the work that Hogan's put in. You may go astray every now and then.
Yes.
What a great fight. But I'll tell you, Hogan just remains a machine in there. Just no sense of the gas running out at any point. You wonder if Rodriguez is a little bit tired. Again, we talk about the long flight from Brazil as Hogan continues to unload.
He's taking too much of a punch right now. I think this was maybe his last round. He's game. He's throwing.
Absolutely.
These low blows.
Bloodied.
I think if he keeps hitting these low blows, Hogan might also get a point.
A little well under the right eye and just blood all over the face of Rodrigo Lopes Rodriguez. Been busted up pretty good here, specifically here in round number 4, as Hogan is just starting to chop him down now. And again, Ray, the flurries are not, they're more one-sided now than they were in round 3 and 2, and Lopes is taking a knee, and that's going to do it. Oh, will it?
He's taking a knee because of the low blow.
I thought for a second that Callis was calling it. I apologize. I thought he was going to wave it off. I thought maybe Lopes would catch his breath and maybe just take the 8 count.
Which would be a smart thing.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with taking an 8 count.
That's strategy.
Exactly.
But here comes Lopes with a little second win. He's winking, he's smiling, he wants to go at it with Hogan. I think he figures, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out with my shield here. Why not?
I like Lopes a lot.
I love it.
A whole lot.
Wasn't sure to expect. Yeah, this guy could be a fan favorite going on the road anywhere. That's what you want. Hogan, however, continues to just walk him down.
He's got to be careful, though. Got to keep those hands up because Lopes does get some pop in his punches, and he is letting them go.
And I keep saying it, but I just love the way Hogan's building. I think he's doing it the right way. He's in fight number 11. It's a big step up. He's getting resistance. It's just a perfect formula, and he had a lot of amateur fights behind that. Here he goes now, letting it go. Final 15 seconds. Can Hogan close the show before the final bell? Johnny Callis is on the brink here. So Lopes spins out, shaking his head. Egging the crowd on. You gotta love it here. Listen, Lopes came here to have some fun.
Yes,
he's playing into the role here. He's getting the crowd fired up. It's been a great fight, Ray. But obviously, it's been all Francis Hogan, no question.
No, it's obviously been Francis Hogan. He's up right now for nothing. But Lopes is taking too much punishment here.
Take a look at these replays, right? Here's some of the action from round number 4. And Hogan does a nice job too, Ray. Even though Lopes is firing back, Hogan's defense remains pretty impeccable despite being so close, like willing to exchange, where he's not eating as many shots
He's taking the punches on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Hogan is taking the punches. He's rolling, catch on his shoulders. Even this flurry right here, the last 10 seconds. Lopes was happy with it, but the punches did land. They were points. They didn't land powerful, but they were points. And the referee is watching, saying, hey, you're getting hit too much here, guy.
Now, Lopes is coming out for round 5. This is one tough dude, no question about it. And he comes out swinging nonetheless as the bell rings. Once again, Michael Parenti joined by Sucre Ray Oliveira. An all-action bout here in the middleweight division at Summer Smash, presented by CES Boxing. We're bringing you all the action on Boxing TV, dynamic new streaming platform. We hope you're enjoying the show. I know I'm enjoying it.
Definitely enjoying this show and this fight. That was definitely a low blow. Are we going to see a point taken away here? Because a lot of people say, well, he didn't warn him.
Yeah.
You don't need to warn a fighter before taking a point away.
That's true. It's almost like a courtesy to do so.
Exactly.
And I think Cal gave him that courtesy and said, listen, just keep them upstairs. I think it's a byproduct of just the nature of the fight. Right? A lot of party exchanges
a lot of
there.
people complain, why am I yelling, take a point away?
Right.
Well, you know, it's the name. Not saying Hogan could give a point. He's winning these rounds like crazy.
He can spare it. Sure, he can spare it. 2 minutes to go here in round 5. This one's scheduled for 6. And while it's been all Francis Hogan, the rounds have been good. The rounds have been competitive. Hogan just getting the better of him. And here he has again with Lopes against the ropes.
I like how Hogan's not
Yes.
pressuring him.
Yes.
He's staying back, connecting, working your punches. He's not thinking knockout.
He's
thinking,
patient.
yes, a W's a W.
I think you're right. I agree with you 1,000%. Some guys get overexcited when a guy's against the ropes, and that's when they make mistakes.
Yes, exactly. We saw that with our last show we had.
Lopes is very close to bleeding into the ropes, which could be construed as a knockdown. I mean,
Exactly.
that's
The
a
ropes are
judgment
keeping
call,
you
right?
up. The ropes are keeping you up. It's capable of you being knocked down.
Hogan just pouring it on here, but Lopes is like a cement truck just coming at him.
He's getting the drop. Lopes is dropping those hands on. He's all day for them face shots.
Fatigue's certainly setting in.
Them
Again, long flight here.
straight right hand by Lopes. See, he lands his punches here and there,
Yeah.
which doesn't phase Hogan. You know, he feels him. He's not phasing him because he's keeping to his game plan.
It just keeps Lopes in the fight, right? It
Yes.
just keeps him. Some fights are so one-sided where the other side's really
It
not
keeps
doing
him in the
anything.
fight that I'm winning, but
Sure.
I can land a big
Yes.
punch and hopefully try to get a knockout here. Because that's the only thing that's going to save him.
Just that mental aspect that's on the back burner for Hogan, knowing, hey, this guy's still throwing. I got to be careful. I can't get too reckless. It's very easy to do that. Think about it. Your whole crowd's here, right? I mean, you have that pressure sometimes to want to finish and close it out.
Yep, definitely.
First fight at Bally's, first fight on boxing TV. You want to get the knockout, but like you said, just get the W. 20 seconds to go in round 5.
They're not giving you more money for a knockout. Wish they did. Or they're not giving you more money for the punches you
The
throw.
UFC, you get that fight of the night bonus.
Yeah,
But
yes, you
know,
get that. You get that. I still got Paolino on that one.
Yes, 100%. All right, 5 rounds now in the books. Francis Hogan and Rodrigo Lopes Rodriguez. I would say as good as advertised, but I think it's been better than advertised. I really didn't know what to expect from Lopes.
Yes.
Kind of a walk card, let's be honest, right? The guy had 8 wins, all in Brazil, came in the States, got stopped twice.
Yep.
Or you're automatically thinking opponent in the back of your mind. But he hasn't looked like that. He looks like someone who's coming here feeling he can compete and not going to go down without a fight. And here he is now going into the 6th round with Francis Hogan. He went 5 rounds out of a scheduled 8-round bout with 14-0 Conor Coyle in February. So the guy's tough. He had 1 stoppage, first round against Mark Reyes. I didn't see the fight. Perhaps he just got caught. You never know what the circumstance. You know, things just happen. Guys have off nights. But if this is the fighter that he can be, this is a guy that can go back to Brazil, win a few more fights, stay relevant, come back out here, and I'm not saying he's going to be on Showbox. I'm not saying he's going to be on the zone. But he's an action fighter. He's the guy that
He's the
people
guy
want to see.
that TV will look at and go, hey, this is a good opponent they put on TV.
Reminds me a little bit of Clay Collard in that sense, right? All-action guy, not a big pedigree, but comes to put on a show. Round 6 underway. Michael Parenti once again joined by Sucre Ray Oliveira, live from Bally's Twin River Casino, bringing you Summer Splash live on Boxing TV. Fight number 5 of the 7-fight card. We still have our co-main event and our main event coming up later on in the broadcast.
This is what I like about Hogan. It's the last round, and a lot of people will tell him, you know, your knockout record's gonna diminish. He's not coming out hyper. He's not coming out trying to get that knockout. He's coming out just get that win.
And what does that really mean, right? I mean, Edgar Berlanga had how many consecutive first-round knockouts, right?
Yes.
And you see what's happened now when he's been put in the fire.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly. Now he's getting rounds that people are seeing his flaws.
Yeah. And if you're a Hogan, you want to work on those flaws while you're still winning and while you're still in the early stage.
You just don't work them flaws in the gym.
Right.
You work them in the early fights.
And Hogan's had the opportunities. He's had the rounds. Right now, this is round number 33 of his career in 11 fights. So he's doing the work. He's putting in the work, and it's paying off in the ring. And so far, it's paid off tonight.
Could there have been a referee stoppage? Yeah.
Possibly.
But you know what? Ref did a great job today. Lopes is still throwing. He's still trying to hang in there and do what he got to do. So let the fight go. It's giving the fans what they want.
I'm glad you said that because sometimes the knockouts are subjective based on the referee. You know? Now, when Rodrigo Lopes took a knee, and I think it was round number 4, some referees might have stopped it. So I mean, we've seen stranger things happen, right?
Yes.
And so maybe it's not. So what if it doesn't register as a knockout in the end? It just depends on the style sometimes too, the official.
The referee a lot of times he says, "Show me something."
Sure.
He go and in the round. He go, "You got to show me something." You're taking rounds. Lopes is showing me something.
Still going.
He's showing that I got something in me, ref. Maybe I got that one punch where I could get that knockout. Do I think it's going to happen? No. But,
Hey, 55 seconds to go between Hogan possibly going the distance or scoring knockout number 11. We'll see how this plays out. I'm sure it's in the back of his mind, but he also knows that he's put on a performance. And again, like everything else, he's made some small increments and improvements along the way, which ultimately is the most important thing for any young fighter.
Yes, he's definitely
He's 21 years old. There's no need to rush this process.
No.
Final 30 seconds here. Hogan's got Lopes against the ropes. See if he can finish this off. If not, nonetheless, it looks like a victory by all accounts. And Lopes has been tough, and he's hung in there. A very entertaining fight. Nice shot there by Lopes. So far, without question, Ray, fight of the night, and we still have 2 more to go. So big shoes to fill for Giuseppe Cusimano and Jamie Clampett as we move along here. But the final bell does ring, and Francis Hogan has gone the distance for the first time in his career. 6 brilliant rounds in the books, and I love it for so many reasons, Ray, as we talked about periodically throughout this fight. I love it for the fact that Hogan did what he wanted to do in there, let his hands go. And I love it for the fact that he got resistance from a real opponent that came to fight.
I've seen more of him with these 6 rounds than I've seen of any knockout he had. You look better when you get rounds.
And no question about it, he gives his fans their money's worth. His fans came all the way from Weymouth, Massachusetts, many making an hour and a half to 2-hour drive to come out here on a Friday night, and they got every ounce of effort from Francis Hogan in the ring. If you take a look at some of the replay action here. Such a great job all night, too. You never seemed like Hogan got over-anxious or overexcited at any point. Just stuck to the game plan. And like you said, if the knockout was going to come, it would happen. If not, I'm just going to work and execute and do my thing.
At the end of the day, they see the W on the record.
I would say without question, I've got it 60-54 across the board.
Yes,
hopefully, our fans are scoring with us at home via our digital program book at cesfights.com. If you haven't done that yet, check it out now. You see promoter Jimmy Birchfield just giving a round of applause for Rodrigo Lopes.
These are the kind of fighters you want. You want the fighters that they keep coming. They give you everything. He's a crowd pleaser. That's what we call them, crowd pleasers.
So far, so good. It's been a great first show back here at Bally's for CES, and we still have more to come. 6 rounds in the books between Francis Hogan and Rodrigo Lopes, and by all accounts, going to be another win for Francis Hogan. And with that said, we're going to send it up to our ring announcer, Adam Palazzo, who has the official decision.
All right, fans, how about a round of applause for both these brave warriors? After 6 tough rounds, we go to the scorecard. Judge Martha Tremblay, Eddie Scunzio, and Don Trella all scored the fight 60-54 for your winner by unanimous decision and still undefeated, Frank the Tank Hogan!
So there it is, Ray. Never really any doubt. 60-54 across the board. Francis Hogan getting a big victory. And with that, I believe we're going to send it back up to our ring announcer, Adam Palazzo, who may have a few words with our winner, Frank the Tank Hogan. Let's see about that. But in the meantime,